Good morning traders and welcome to TradeSetup in the morning jumpstart for the 22nd of September. Big night overnight in the US as we expected. We had the interest rate announcement at 4 a.m. They did not raise rates in September as was highly anticipated, but they did strongly point to a potential rate rise by the end of the year, potentially around December. So the expectations went from about 55% to about 66, I think. Expectations of a rate rise by the end of the year. So markets rallied strongly on the back of that over the number, along with the Aussie and gold pushed higher. Europe was pretty much closed by then, so they didn't react quite as much. So let's take a look at how the market panned out. We've got these SPY 200 futures that closed up 32 points. S&P futures, S&P 500 closed up 25 and a quarter points. The FTSE closed up only 7 points. DAX followed suit also, closing up only 37 points. Gold finished higher, $13.20. Oil was also higher on the back of lower than expected crude oil inventories. That was up 14 cents, but did swing quite a bit. CRB index finished up 1.9 points, and the Aussie's currently around the 76.31 points as the US dollar weakened. Looking at the ASX 200, we've been following this quite closely. It's played out nicely overnight. We did get that push up from yesterday's session. Push up, pull back to retest the 53.15 level, which it broke through on the open. Then pretty much finished strongly into the close. This is the open of the night session, so we did back off, as we probably would have expected, a bit of a back off into the number, or prior to FOMC release. Pretty much straight back down to support, so technically that was a beautiful setup. It's following ideally what we would expect. Built another higher low at 53.26, and then after the number we rallied higher strongly into the close. Obviously is overbought, so on the open today we do expect obviously continued strength, but probably more than likely we'll wash out the highs, have a bit of a pullback to build that high low again, and then we could be working our way back up to 54.33. There is a potential that we do roll over, but with the US and no rate rise until December, we expect that would continue on finding strength in the US, and we'd expect us to follow suit. Let's take a look at some more markets now. Aussie dollar, we see that that spike over the number. I think that was at 4 a.m. That has been technically beautiful as well. We've had that higher low originally at 74.80, pushed up to 75.66, and then we made the higher low, which we did retest during the day, 75.37, which is beautiful, technically beautiful price action there, holding that trend higher, or that shorter term trend higher, and then we did push higher into the close. Yesterday Aussie session there, come back down and retested that 75.66, and then over the number spiked through, washed out a few traders, which happens more often than not, and then we did rally into the close there, so we're finding some strength. Now that technically you would expect to see a bit of a minor pullback, build that higher low, well above 75.60, maybe probably 76 even, say, and then pushing back up to heading towards 77.25. Let's see how that plays out. We are in overbought territory there, so we've got to take some steam out of the market to rebuild, engineer another move higher. Okay, this is the action on the US S&P 500. Technically, again, it's trading very nicely. We're building those high lows. We also, up until overnight, we were making some lower highs as well as the market come into contraction, but they're really just getting set and waiting for that FOMC announcement on interest rates to see what Yellen had to say about the projected outlook. So we built those higher lows. We held that 21.35. We did wash out. It was around 2 o'clock, so wouldn't expect to read too much in that. That support did hold at 21.35. We were capped going into the rate announcement at 21.50. We can see that push lower. Just a few, I think, just exiting in a few positions, cleaning the table, waiting for that announcement. Once the announcement come through and they were pointing towards a rate rise towards the end of the year, market took off nice and strongly, so did rally into the close, and it's pretty much now we've taken out those lower highs around that 21.50 zone, so we expect that would probably provide some support. I think it'll be a bit of a struggle being well overbought to get through 21.65, so we do expect a pullback, maybe retest 21.50, but then engineer that higher low for that push back up through 21.65, potentially on its way to the top end of that zone at 21.94. So we've got some interesting days ahead. Let's take a look at gold now. Okay, we can see the price action of gold here. We did wash out those lows, I think at 13.12. I think it was over Bank of Japan rate announcement there. Washed that out and then pretty much head higher and broke straight through 13.18 resistance level. So that's broken out of that downtrend there. We've made that major high low. You see between 1300, 1308 and 1311, 1312. So we built that higher low there, and that was enough emphasis to push higher towards 1330. Now you can see that washout. We did wash out a few long positions there over the announcement at 4 a.m. on the FOMC US rates. Wash out and then pretty much turn around and headed straight back up through 1330, and we closed stronger. Good price action. It's quite a steep push high there, so we do expect maybe some contraction lower, build that longer term higher low for a push back up through 1330 towards 1356. We have to see how that plays out. Market is overbought, so that's got to ease off quite a bit. So yeah, technically looking nice, looking positive. We'll just have to see how that continues over the next few days. Anyway, that's it. We'll speak to you tomorrow.